The five most important traits in operational leaders when we look across businesses, I think first would be communication skills, the ability for the leader to articulate both a vision or strategic direction of the business as well as how they might action it and how they plan to accomplish that vision. There's also the ability to just communicate with their teams and get them enrolled in problem solving, get them enrolled in solutions, and helping to run the business every day. I think then after that, the second most important characteristic or skill that a leader needs is the ability to think system-wide or systemic thinking, to where they can see the broader picture of the business and processes and how things interconnect, how they interact, and how the pieces all fit together. So they know not how they can drive performance and drive improvement, not just in isolation, but it's connected throughout the business to get the overall result. And with that, they need the skill of the business acumen, knowing how the business works, knowing how they make money, how they serve customers, and that as they're working on the improvements across the system, where things leverage, what are the right things to work on to get the biggest bang for the buck, if you will. And that's going to be driven from business acumen, knowing how the business works. The fourth biggest is, and not necessarily the least important, but they have to be results oriented. So I think leaders have to be driven to achieve results, have to be constantly focusing on their teams on how do we get the results in the business. With that, they're going to need to be able to problem solve and think creatively in terms to overcome obstacles and barriers when they run into them, but they've got to stay results oriented. And lastly, in many businesses, they have to think about managing global diversity, not only in their business, but perhaps in their customers. So how do we, in our customer base, if we serve global customers, how do we serve them? Where are they at? What are the differences in terms of expectations and meeting those expectations? And the same would apply to our teams internally. How do we manage the teams to be effective and get the results that we're after?